Alright, gonna briefly go over how to install the Patrios light onto a Kia VR2 and then wire it up to a Maytech H743 along with a TBS Crossfire that you see up there. So obviously you're gonna need your light. These come with a servo plug on them, so you have a couple options there. What I prefer to do is I get a servo extension harness and then I cut off about an inch and a half of it, and then I use that, as you can see here, as my hot plug. So that way there, I don't have to cut off this plug and solder the wires directly to the flight controller. This lets me move the Patrios light between builds super easy. The other thing, if you're gonna screw hole mount it, is this shim plate. It just spaces it out from these screws on the bottom and gives you a little bit of room. These two screws, you can use anything from like an M3x6 to an M3x10 or so. Additionally, you'll want to, if you're gonna drill holes through your plate, you'll want to use this jig, and that will help you line up the holes on the front. 3D print files for this I've got, so that, as well as this shim plate, you'll want to use if you're going to screw hole mount it. I know there's a couple other mounts out there as well. And then if you're going to screw hole mount it, you'll need a drill bit, pop through, just a 3mm drill bit for these size screws. What you'll do is you'll use this jig, pop it through there, drill your 2 holes with a drill press or a hand drill. Once you've got that, you can then mount your light onto the airframe. So this cutout slot is going to fit right there. You're going to hold it up against the bottom of your aircraft, line up the holes, and then just pass one of the screws through. And then just thread in. These are worth using Loctite on. These can come loose. You got 2 of them, but even so, it doesn't hurt to use some Loctite. Once you've got that, I take the wire and normally tuck it up through here. You want to keep this wire on the edge, safe out of the way. Don't want it hitting stuff. And then there's the light installed onto the aircraft. So once you've got that, then the wiring portion comes in. So the most important part of this is where you play your signal from. There's 2 different ways you can do it. The way I'm going to show you here is doing it through the Crossfire. So on the Nano RX, which you can see I've got mine tucked up inside my airframe, but on the Nano RX you're going to use channel 3, which I'm going to put a picture of up on the screen. You're going to use channel 3, and you're going to wire your signal wire, which is the white wire from your servo plug. Mine's black in this case, but that's just because I changed it. The white wire from the servo plug is going to go to channel 3. Your red wire on your servo plug is going to go to your VBAT pad, which you see right there. And then the black wire from the servo plug is going to go to your ground pad. So you're going to feed this light direct VBAT and then ground. And that is how you're going to wire up the light. Then you just plug in the light, make sure the colors are going the right way, tidy up the wires, throw a zip tie on them or whatever you're going to do, tuck them away, make sure they're not going to fly into the props whenever you get into a crash. And then from there, there's only one bit of setup you need to do on your radio itself, which is pretty simple, pretty easy, and that's what we'll go into next. Radio setup wise, what you're going to want to do once you have your aircraft plugged in with a battery and bound to your radio, long press menu, go into Agent Light, and then we're going to change one setting on your Nano RX. So we're going to go under Nano RX V3, under Output Map, and then you'll see here 1, 2, 3, and rather than it being on channel 3, which is what it's going to be normally, you're going to want to change it to whatever switch you have bound in your mixer. In my case, I have it bound to switch C, which is channel 7. And so I'll select channel 7, and then now the light will be bound to that rocker. And so by default, depending on what radio you have, one position will be low, one medium, and one high. Low, medium, high will correspond to off, IR, and then LED visible. that is all the setup you should have to do on the radio side of it. And that should set you up so that your light will function, work, all good. So that's it.